Hello and good morning. It's Friday the 28th of May. What are we on? We're on 8:59. My name is Steve Pugh and you probably see these every week, and hopefully if you hate them just click on. But if you don't, what I do is talk for half an hour on sorry, my voice is a bit sore this week, but I've got my coffee. Is talk on business questions that people send in through the week, or stuff that I think is relevant. They're all kind of gets clipped up. And basically I have a business course called the Roadmap MBA, which I will just show you. Looks a little bit something like this. It's a 216-page document or roadmap which guides you through your business or career, and it's all about how you grow and tackle all the different things from your aims and ambitions, your sorry, my voice is really bad today, so I'm going to keep it short. But basically it's really good stuff. If you check out roadmapmba.com, all the information is kind of on there. Every week we tend to have some regulars. So Simon and Julie and some of the other guys that always comment, please get involved. And likewise, please feel free to say hello, say who you are, where you're from. And actually, I don't mind if you plug your kind of business too. We're all kind of in this together, and actually social media is a great way to raise awareness on what you do. And what I try and do is just help add value every week. And then I clip these all up and use it for members on the course to kind of help any questions that they've got. I've just realized as soon as I'm starting to talk how bad my voice is today. So please bear with me, but I'm going to do my best. So since launching in February, mid-February, I kind of went live with the roadmap. We're now fortunately in 11 different countries. We got over 300 users, and that's everywhere from Ghana, Nigeria, America, China, Latvia, Netherlands, and a few others. But actually what I'm trying to do is just create something which adds genuine value to the audience. I've always tried to do something that nobody else has really done. So historically you can buy business sales books and strategy books and marketing books, but nobody had ever really pieced it together to look at how do you use sales tools to actually improve your marketing, and how, if you have a strong personal brand, can that actually help you land new customers. And then actually I gave a session yesterday for an organization called Nepic. And basically we were doing a masterclass for 2 hours about how you look at your business strategy to really help accelerate the growth of your company. I clipped up a 9-minute clip of that, which has gone online, which was yesterday. But it's all about it's the interactivity where I try and both learn and share the theory, but actually people ask me about how do they apply it and how can they use it for themselves. And then likewise for the paid members on the course, they also reach out and share their problems and questions and stuff with me that I do my best to answer as well. So in today's session, I'm going to keep it fairly short just because my voice, I'm only 2 minutes in and it's already going, but it's been a long week, but a good one. It's all about setting your personal standard. So this is almost for everyone. There are things that we choose to accept or acknowledge. And actually in business, as much as anything, if you set a certain standard for what you aim to achieve, that is what you strive to, but it'll help you achieve your goal. So for me, I set a standard to do these every Friday at 9 AM, even if my voice is not great, because actually I know it'll help me to get to where I want to be in 5 years' time. I'm going to talk about risk and how you should both acknowledge and then mitigate potential risks in your business, because actually it's really important. One that we talked about yesterday in the session, and someone said that it really kind of resonated with them. And we're going to talk about why are your competitors better than you? And this is really important because people always say, well, they're not. It's like, well, they must be at some things because they're still in business. So we're going to talk about that. And then I'm going to start with the last one, which actually is a really clever sales approach. So shout out to Ben's Gutters. This came through our door the other day. And basically what it said was, it's all printed. It looks handwritten, but it's not. It's all printed. It says, hello, we are cleaning your close neighbour's gutters over the next few days. Maybe you would like yours cleaned too. No question mark. Interesting. Please call me on for an estimate. Best regards, Ben's Gutters, smiley face. Why this is quite clever in terms of sales is that in the course we talk about something called reciprocation, but actually people never want to feel that you've gone out the way to speak to them, because actually the more effort you go to, the more, well, I guess it's reciprocation, the more urge you feel to almost pay them back or give them some time. And I've always used this for quite a long time. So if I was going to see a customer in Manchester, I'm going to drive through Leeds, I'll always actually make the point to say, Hi John, I'm passing by your office next Thursday, can I drop in? And the idea is that actually it makes the person on the other end think, well, he's passing anyway. I quite like the guy. Yeah, fine. As where for the same meeting, if I said to him, look, I'm willing to drive from Newcastle to Leeds to come and see you for 10 minutes, would you do it? They're a lot less likely to have the meeting because actually they might think that you're doing it because you really want to push hard, sell them or whatever. And that was what was quite clever about Ben's Gutters, was actually the fact that they've said, look, we're on the street. I don't even think they are, but I just think it's clever that they're on the street, they're helping out the neighbours, so it's almost an endorsement from the neighbour that they must be good. And, you know, would you like a free estimate? Just a very clever, very simple sales approach and sales technique from a local company. I don't know, Ben, but I'm guessing they are VAT registered, so they must do at least 82,000. But fair play to them. I just thought it was a really good kind of sales pitch that I thought I would share, because actually it's a great sales approach to, if you're trying to get a particular client, is there any way that you can reduce the feeling of effort or commitment on their behalf, and they're a lot more likely to get the meeting. And actually when you kind of, one thing it doesn't say alone is price, but actually when you kind of do these tricks and use these tricks, it does make a big difference to your ability to basically grow your business. So I thought I'd just kind of share that. It was a bit of fun which came through this week. Please feel free to get involved in the comments. I'd love to I love the interactivity. We've had people from downtown Dubai before, we've had India, and all across the world. So please kind of get involved in the comments, and they should pop up here if it all kind of works. Cool. Okay, so it's 9:05. My voice is terrible today. I'm going to crack on though, because my next one is this exact point. Every business and every professional in business should have a standard that they set themselves to, that actually it's all about who they see as being the best version of themselves. So one of the things we talk about in the roadmap is that if you're in a career, and it's more true this for careers than entrepreneurs, and you're like, look, I'm mid-level, I want to progress to the top, how do I do that? In the course, we actually talk about how it's the skill sets and stuff that you want to show, that you want to demonstrate, that make people see you as a leader. But one of the really great ways to do that is actually to look at and emulate. And we actually write it down in the course. Who do you see as being at the very top of their game for what you do? And you know, you could pick anyone in any kind of field. We'll pick professional athletes because actually that kind of works quite well. So if you are a big fan of boxing and you're a fan of Anthony Joshua, I actually prefer Tyson Fury, which is a separate thing, but anyway, I'll pick Anthony Joshua. Anthony Joshua as a professional boxer will set the standard from his GB days that he will train, I'm going to guess, maybe twice a day, 5 days a week, regardless of what happens. Okay, barring injury. And then I'm sure he eats his nutrition and he sets the standard for what he does in terms of what he eats, how he sleeps, because actually he's aiming for the very top. In your career, what's really important is that you can set these same standards for yourself. That if you see someone, I spoke to a lady this morning about marketing, and there's a chap called Seth Godin, and his book is actually on that shelf at the back. Really, really great guy. But he's famous that he used to go into the office early and really put in a good graft, as well as being talented at what he does. But what he did is set the standard for his work ethic to actually kind of be successful. Good morning, Simon. If you fast forward or rewind a few minutes, I gave you a shout out already, but no, I appreciate the heads up. But then likewise, if you want to become the CEO of your company, you know, set yourself the standard to always turn up on time, if not early, always get your work done, and actually just, you can only choose your own standards. And it could be to do healthy living, it could be to do it stop smoking or reducing your alcohol or whatever. But it's really kind of important in business that for me, I'm only 15 weeks into this business, which is the Roadmap MBA, but I set the standard that every Friday, even with a bad voice, I'm going to come on, I'm going to do my best, interact and give as much value as I can, and then just keep going. And I want to do this for the next 2, 3, 4, 5 years. Touch some wood, it might take off one day, or it might not. But actually, I'll be quite happy in myself, even if it does fail, if I've tried my best. And that's just the standard that I kind of set myself. Another standard is I'm trying to go for a run once a week, every Sunday. And that's just to get my fitness back to where it was pre-COVID kind of lockdown levels. And it's just setting yourself these little standards that it could be one social media post a week. You can pick whatever you want. But actually, hi Nabil, It's really important just to pick your own standards. One great one, actually, in the book, we talk about lead actions, and this is the positive actions which you can control, which help impact your goal. So often we pick sales. And one of the big ones, when you actually calculate your sales, so if your sales target is £1 million, in the book, I think it's page 42, we work backwards to work out actually how many phone calls does that mean, or how many sales approaches does that mean you have to make every day. And then you can set the standard to say, look, I will actually make 5 phone calls every day, and that's my standard. And if I only make 2, I don't leave the office until I've done 5. And you're just setting yourself that standard that you want to adhere to, that you know will get you to where you want to be. And actually something that I saw last week, and it was from Peter McKeown, who does Diablo Seasonings in Middlesbrough. And I really, really love this, and I'm going to incorporate this into version 2 of the book. And actually, he got a shout out in version 1 of the book as well. And it's actually, he targets himself to get 200 rejections every day. And if you think about that, that is gold, that is as good as it gets. Because yes, everyone wants to win, and that's fine, and that's great. But if you aim to get the rejection, even if you pick up the phone and someone says, actually, look, it's not really for me, no problem, boof, he's actually working towards his goal. So it's a win-win. Either he gets the sale, or he's working towards his 200 rejections. And honestly, when I heard that, my mind was just blown. I'm going to clip this up and I'll tag him in it as well. But it's that kind of thing of, you know, as an SME, as a small business owner, a lot of us have to do these hustles ourselves. So likewise for Peter, it could be taking his stock and going to a farmer's market on a Sunday when the weather's crappy and he thinks there's going to be nobody there, because he set that standard that that's what he wants to do, to really put his heart and soul into it. And it was just the concept that I kind of wanted to talk about. And likewise, if you've got any comments. Nabil, I'd love to know where in the world you're from. Simon, I know where you're from, but please feel free to plug anything you're up to as well, which is cool. So what are we on? 9/11. Okay. I still find it funny doing these, but it's the world we live in, the ability to live stream and hit a lot of people. And actually, I've had some people ask me recently about almost online training setups, if that makes sense. So I knew that with COVID, the world was going to go more online. So I spent a lot of money on this, and that includes the hire of the space, but the TVs, the lightings, the cameras, the stuff. And it's a way to hit one-to-many people that I couldn't do previously. And again, one of the things I try and set the standard to myself is about quality. So I put a massive amount of effort into absolutely everything I ever do, but that includes the visuals, the bandwidth, the lighting, the quality, the feedback, everything. Good morning, Simon. And yes, you're completely right. Standards do fit into what your brand kind of stands for. But people, one of the big things that people often say is actually, but I'm just a copywriter, it doesn't apply to me. I'm just a freelancer, etc. I'm just a freelancer, I'm just a solopreneur as well. But you can still set yourself the standard to aim for the very best. And actually something that we talk about, one of my companies is an offshore energy company doing really, really well at the moment. And such and wood, the company's on course to kind of double in size. But one of the things that we do, and they make world-class subsea equipment, is that yes, we strive for perfection, but we don't have to be perfect. We just try and improve and improve and improve. And that includes in the way we communicate to our staff. It includes how we do our quality checking procedures. And actually, clients appreciate it. And it's all these little things that you don't have to be perfect. There's loads of problems with my voice, the way I'm presenting, the room, you name it. But the point is, it'll just get better and better and better over time, hopefully, as you get more practice in and you kind of work towards your 10,000 hours. But I think people often put up a barrier that they don't like to do video because it's not perfect, or they're not happy with how they look, or they don't feel they're experienced enough. The trick is to get on the horse, try, and then try again, and then try again. And what you'll find is that the people actually resonate with who you are and what you do, will support what you're doing. So not to be scared of it. And actually the people that don't like it will probably just click off or slag you off behind your back. But at least you'll never know in some ways. Although saying that, sometimes you do get trolls and stuff anyway, but it is what it is. But it's just an interesting concept that I thought I would talk about. But Simon, as always, I appreciate the the comments, which is cool. Okay, next I'm going to talk about risk. So what's interesting is that I am a solopreneur. I have a business. You have the Roadmap MBA, which you see, which is this, and it's the business courses and it's the packs that I send out and that kind of thing. But actually, I do a lot of work with clients where I go to their office, I take my laptop, which is what is currently powering the TV, and I have this portable hard drive, which is a Samsung 2 terabyte solid state drive, and it's brilliant. It's fingerprint encoded, and basically it carries all my data so that no matter if I switch between the laptop or the iMac, I still have access to all my stuff. That actually, it works like a dream, but if it was ever stolen, nobody can get into it. And it's one of the best purchases I've bought in the past few years. I think it was 180 quid, I think, might be more, but really, really, really good. And one of the things that I knew is that although I was doing sporadic backups, and I've got backups at home every so often, I wanted to set the standard for myself that if my laptop or that drive got nicked today, I've got a daily backup. So what I bought from Amazon, was it on Monday? No, it wasn't. It was on Wednesday, and it arrived yesterday. And this is the funny thing about Amazon. Amazon prides itself on next day delivery if you've got Prime. And they're always trying to push you to sign up because they know Prime members spend more money. And I always go for the free option, and it still arrives the next day. So it's just a funny one. But anyway, I bought a 5 terabyte backup drive, which I run via Time Machine on my iMac. And now every time I plug in the 2 terabyte one, it just automatically backs up the whole thing every single day. And the point is, it's identifying the risks that if I was to lose that drive, it wouldn't be ideal. It wouldn't be the end of the world. But I'm trying to set the standard and just help my business improve that an IBM or a NASA or a Tesla or an Apple, as Simon kind of points out, would set that standard for themselves. That actually, even as a sole trader, you still want to give the best possible service you can. And what's also true, because I've had this on the other side, I've mentioned in previous weeks that we're actually looking to get a new boiler at home. And the reason why I mention this is that the chap that we've used in the past, he's very good at what he does, he's reasonably priced, but he doesn't always reply to messages. So you could ask for a quote or a day for him to come around or whatever, and he might not reply for a week. For me, that's really, really bad customer service to the point where I'd almost consider using someone else. But actually, he should, if it was me, set the standard just to reply the same day or 10 minutes later or whatever, just as part of his customer service, and that would make a massive difference to his business. But actually, it depends on what you want. He's obviously someone that is happy to let things run and slide, and yes, he might be busy, but he obviously just doesn't have that standard to reply to someone. Is where, as far as I humanly can, I always try and reply every day. But no, I'd love to know your comments about what you think, and almost I'd love to know what standards you set yourself in terms of your business too. Excuse me. Okay, third, I'm going to talk about something, and it's an interesting one, and it came up in the strategy session yesterday, and actually, I think it's quite obvious in some ways, but people always kind of regret it or they won't want to talk about it. And it's the concept of, why are your competitors better than you? And it seems like quite a divisive statement that nobody wants to admit, but it's really, really important. So yesterday in the session we did, we looked at brand positioning. So actually we plotted out different companies against their competitors, and it's really how you find your niche, find how you're different to other things. So for the roadmap, for instance, one alternative is traditional business books, which are cheaper, but all the information is one way. You can't ask questions, there's no video. It's not actually aimed at SMEs, it's just a generalist kind of business thing. And there's a lot of weaknesses, but also there's a lot of benefits to it. Likewise, the university education, very well established, more credibility, more accreditation, a proven kind of process, if that makes sense, but really expensive, not flexible around working hours and commitments and etc. And even down to kind of sales training kind of stuff. You have people that are very good sales trainers that will do a one-day session in person, and you get 8 hours and you really concentrate and stuff. But then after that one day, you can't really ask questions for the next 12 months. And the other thing, a lot of traditional training, when they just cover one topic, it doesn't also both tell you what else you could learn, but tell you how marketing can actually improve your sales and your strategy and really bring it all together. So that's something I try and cover with the roadmap. But the same is true with cars. And I'm trying to think of some good examples, but it could be Costa Coffee, for instance. If you are a coffee shop, you plot yourself. So if you're a small independent and you compete against Starbucks, Costa, and other independents, you can't compete really on price because you need the margin to pay your own bills. Quality is different because with the buying power that the bigger companies have, you know, it's going to be difficult to compete on raw bean quality, etc. And even with the cakes, yes, you could bake stuff in-house, so you've got the homemade angle, but the one thing that you absolutely can compete on is customer service. You could actually get to know your customers, their families, what are they about, what they come in, what they like, what they don't like, make them feel welcome, create a nice space. And that alone is a way that you can compete against your competitors, acknowledging that they're bigger, stronger, etc., bigger brand, bigger marketing. But it's a great way for you to kind of promote yourself and find your niche. And that's true for everyone if you're a copywriter or an engineering business or whichever. And with my voice about to go, I'm surprised I've lasted 20 minutes. I just want to check, because I missed one out last week. I'm setting the standard, risks, why your competitor's better, and the clever sales approach. So I'm going to leave it there. What are we on? 9:20. I appreciate your support as always. I'm sorry I've been less than perfect today, but I wanted to set the standard that I do these regardless. I'm going to keep doing my best. Fingers crossed, if you're interested in the course, get in touch. It's there, roadmapmba.com. My name's Steve. Feel free to reach out anytime and hopefully catch up soon. All right, cheers, guys. Thank you. Have a good weekend. Oh, one before I go. There's no interview this week on Monday, so it's a bank holiday in the UK, which means there'll be a break this week. But I have a really great guest lined up for the Monday after, but I'll announce that next week as well. So there's nothing on Monday, but have a great weekend, and I'll hopefully speak to you soon. All right, cheers, guys. Bye-bye.